Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with Miguda and Makobura. Makobura, let me start with you. How are you doing, brother?
Good evening. I'm doing good, I thank God. And I'm back. I hope
Go ahead.
nyinyi pia mko salama. Naweza ona uko hapo na Miguda. You can also see at the comment section kuna Gypsy Corner na Wesley.
Sasa
Na
unajua
mimi niko salama.
kabla bado labda
Yes.
sijapatiana Miguda wakati, labda unaweza sema, kwa sababu Gibson amekuwa akikuuliza sana, nikamwambia ulikuwa kwa engagement, so unaweza mwambia ilikuwa vipi?
Oh, okay. Gypsy Corner kama I did realize that we go to the same church with Gypsy Corner.
Oh.
So as a Catholic, sometimes yeah, aliniambia hapa tu kwamba ni kama yeye pia ni Mkatoliki. Sasa sisi kama wakati we do find time once, maybe every month, there are some retreat centers around where we are normally advised that we find time and spend some few days with Christ, and Christ is Jesus. Jesus is God. So I did get the opportunity to have some time with Christ. In life, sometimes you can't survive without the spiritual nourishment bit. If Father was here, Father will tell you that they also do find time to hold retreats, and it is advisable that every Catholic, for that extent, not just Catholic, are supposed to maybe find time maybe a week or some few days within a month to spend time with Christ. And that is where I can gladly say, and of course to tell our viewers that they should always find time to seek for spiritual nourishment. It is good for us and it is good for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. That one is in order. So, Miguda, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. All good. I'm just closing my evening, and I hope you two are doing good as well.
Tuko vizuri, and from the comment section, I'm seeing also Gibson Corner, I'm seeing Judith and Wesley. Maybe you can share with us how you are doing, and if there's something new where you are that you want to share with us. We are happy and welcome you to share, because here we need to know news. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming into the show. It is another evening that we usually come to talk about the issues that are happening in the country, and what is the way forward when we look at leadership and the country itself. Yesterday, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua traveled to the United States of America, and maybe we can look at what could be the reason behind his USA tour, 2 months, and how will the politics of the country be without Rigathi Gachagua? As you know, that he's one of the leaders that people will always wait to get to know what he says. So we will be talking about maybe the reason why. Then secondly, also we have the shoot the leg order that the president said yesterday, and today also Nelson Koech actually column shoot to kill. Remember Nelson Koech, just for record purposes, is the national security chair. That is very, very, very sensitive committee in the republic, and if the chair can give such pronouncement, it begs the question, what next? And also, there's something also that we need to talk about, that how it has changed, especially the phone and the camera, especially when it comes to protest. The camera is rolling, and as the camera rolls, the camera captures some of the scenes that, especially the interaction between the public themselves, the protesters themselves. If the camera captures those who are vandalizing the property, the camera also capture the police, and at some extent also capture the incidents whereby the people who have been shot by the police. So there's so much to talk about. And again, another thing also that we have to look and ask the question, because is there a missing link that our leaders are missing, especially the people that have been entrusted with the leadership? Is there that we don't know what is happening? Because look at when the Gen Z went on the street on 2024, the year 2024, it was June. And that one necessitated for the Right Honorable Prime Minister to donate the experts to the government. And after donating the expert, there was a memorandum of understanding that was signed, and there was 10-point agenda that were agreed upon by two principles that must be actualized. And from then up to now, has any of it been actualized? And what does it mean, especially now with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga? Because one of the main issues, sorry to take too long, I think it was about first of all, to contain the protest, because it was believed that the influence and the fan base that the Right Honorable Prime Minister has, when it comes into negotiation, that one will make the protest to die off, which until today we are still seeing protest. And to the confirmation of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, he also asked for intergenerational dialogue. So those are some of the conversations that we need to have, and where are we headed? And when you look at what is happening, especially the kind of politics and the narratives that are running around, how will 2027 be during the election? Because you know that our election is usually, especially when it comes to presidency, it's usually very contested. And that's where the focus is usually is. And we will look at so many things, and some of the utterances that are made by the leaders. Especially, we will start with the courts. But before we go, let me give this opportunity to Makobura, maybe after the spiritual nourishment, what message do you have for the country?
Let me come in first, because I want to give my. Should I give my thoughts on the things you have stated, or there are some specific that I can point out, Brother Benson?
We can go one by one. Maybe
okay. Let me try to go
overall thought.
To go one by one.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's start Vol by just give your overall thought, the order by the president, and then today again by Koech, and we will look at the Constitution, especially what does the Constitution say, especially when you come to the police, and where is that one leave the police? Because today that the police officer who shot Karaoke today, the DPP has approved his case as a murder case. So he will be facing trial as an individual. So maybe if you can, on that area first, the shoot the leg, and what Koech said today. And, then we can discuss, then we will move to other stories, especially then we will move to the Rigathi Gachagua visiting United States.
Okay, that one is now very much in order. Also, let me join you two people to recognize the presence of Gypsy Corner, Judith Carita, and Wesley, because I haven't recognized them from the comment section actually, but two of you have recognized them. So let me join you people. I just want to tackle the issue of National Defense Committee Chair, that is not Nelson Koech, is the chair for the National Defense at the National Assembly, and his retrogressive utterances are unwanted because actually he was just trying to echo what the president said, but insisted on shoot to kill. That, Mr. President, there is no need of you giving orders to shoot the leg. You ought to have given order to shoot to kill. It's like you want to tell the people that it is the government which gives you that life. So at any point in life, the same government can take that life. We condemn what Koecha said, and we call upon he should be arrested for such utterances. We are not going to allow people to subvert the constitution for the sake that they are serving they want to serve their second term. That is very wrong. You should not kill anybody, and should not give any order to anybody to kill somebody. You also have talked about the issue of the shoot to kill by Mr. President. I was watching international media,
Yes.
and Ruto was all over. They were saying, the news anchors were saying, the Kenyan president William Ruto has issued a directive order that the police should shoot people's leg, then they go to court of law. Actually, from hospital then to the court of law, and they were criticizing the statement by Mr. Ruto, those international media. They've actually criticized that statement, that what kind of president is this? We want people to be shot on the leg. All of us will go to the ballot with wheelchair. Anyway, to the issue of Baraza, this is now where I want to have a point of departure with Mr. President and Nelson Koech. Because orders are coming from the above. Orders came from Mr. President, order came from Mr. Murkomen, orders came from Koech. But anybody or any police officer who take action for the order being given by the people who are above, when that right time comes for the trial, you find you are alone, because you saw what happened to Baraz when he was charged with murder, and the other police officer was acquitted. He was left alone by the family members. There was no Murkomen in that court. There was no Koech in that cause. There was no Ruto in that cause. It was Baraza who was in that cause, in that court. Therefore, when if you are taking unlawful orders, but my warning to you people, know very well that when that right time comes for you to be tried, you will be. And remember, there is no time limit for the criminal offense. And they're telling you, just commit those offenses, we are going to protect you. But remember, William Ruto is not going to be the president until the kingdom of God comes. Even if he gets his second term, the max he can do is only 10 years. After 10 years, someone else might become the president. He will open the files. And if you are the police officer who is committing these crimes, you will be held liable by that time. So you should be very careful. Do not act on some orders. Remember, during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta, there was some hit squad, the one which were being used to kill people at Rivayala. When Rigiji and Ruto came to power, it was disbanded and they were taken to court process. I think some of them are right now in prison. In the same case, you never know. You might be protected for the 10 years. But what about after 10 years? What about after you have gone for retirement? They will come for you in your home. So we understand that property should not be destroyed. The same way property should not be destroyed, the same way people's lives should not be taken by shoot to kill. I think human lives supersede property, but in the argument, they tend to protect property more than lives. So that is how some people try to reason. But also we understand that the way you have said very clearly, there is no one who wants to attempt any coup. No one want to commit any treason.
Yeah.
People are just agitating, and we are appealing to the young people that there are two things they need to do. Number one, the previous election, they never turned out to vote, but not that they are not registered. That's a lie. There were some people who were registered, but they never turned out to vote. But there are also some people who are registered, like me and Makobura. We turn out to vote. Therefore, you cannot victimize the entire generation that you are making too much noise, but you never voted. No, me, I voted. So you cannot victimize me that I'm making noise. And I voted. And some of my colleagues voted. So the people who never voted should be selected. That why didn't you not vote? That's a mistake. Number two, we are the majority. Those who don't have the IDs, and I think most of us have IDs because currently you can't register the Safaricom or Airtel line without an ID. You must have ID. And if you are being enrolled in the college, you must have an ID because you can't receive your help minus your ID and bank account. And you must also have an ID because ID open for you many ways. Even you cannot be employed informal without an ID. So I believe most of my generation people, they are having their IDs. And therefore, if they're having their IDs, they should be registered as voter. And I also believe they are registered because for you to get a CDF loan, the one which you are being given by the area MP or governor, they will ask you, show us your voter's card so that we can write for you the CDF money. So I believe these young people, they have IDs and voters card. The problem is they never turn out to vote. Now we are appealing to them. Most of them are ladies. Do not sleep on the voting day. Wake up very early in the morning. Make sure that you take those lines, then you cast your ballot so that they will not blame us that we are making too much noise, but we never voted. We voted. There are some who never voted. So you should not victimize everybody. So I believe that for us to end all these utterances by the above, we need to communicate at the ballot because there are many ways of killing a rat. You don't need to go to the street. And also, the more we go to the street, the more we lose lives. And I don't want anybody to lose life because of nonsense like police shooting you because you are exercising your right. Therefore, we should ensure that we have the ID cards and the voters card so that we can go to this war well prepared.
Thank you so much for your view. Let me invite Makobura maybe to give overview, especially, I don't know where you are at, you could access the news and what is happening in the country. And yesterday, President, when he was launching police houses in Kilimani, he gave that order. Especially, he said that they should be shot in the leg. They go to hospital as they proceed to court. You know, and maybe, and Koech today also said it, but there's something about Koech and the president that has some similarities in them that we will discuss as we go with the conversation. So Makobura, what is your take on especially what Koech said today and what the president, and not even like now it is CS Murkomen has said it, the president has said the Koech is saying it. The constant word here is shoot.
Okay, thanks. First, I did hear you ask if I had the opportunity to see what was happening. I can tell you that I did not had the opportunity. I've been, do I say, in darkness from Sunday. Not watching any news. I'm not even really fully aware of what happened on Sabasaba, but I've been trying to look at what happened. It's so traumatizing. And it's so sad that we lost lives. Allow me first to take the opportunity to just convey my condolences to the family of comrades who died while fighting for their rights and fighting for the rights of the people of Kenya and to the entire future of the people of Kenya. They are heroes, and we shall truly remember them as Kenyans who really stood up at a time when, people did not, at a time when a government that we elected as the people of Kenya came out to send policemen and police force to kill the young people. It's such a very painful thing to me and to Kenyans and to families. At this point that we are having this session, there are families that are grieving. There are families who lost their brothers. There are families who lost their children. There are families who lost breadwinners, and all this is coming just because of a president that we have, that the people of Kenya are trying to talk to, and the people of Kenya are trying to tell him that things are not working, kindly fix. I think the best thing the president should do is to sit down and give it an ear to the people of Kenya, and partly to understand what the young people or the people of Kenya are trying to bring forth. It is such a painful thing, if you ask me, that there are families who lost. This is Barak. I don't know. Maybe you can admit him. Barak is here at the waiting lodge.
Okay.
So I can say that it is such a painful thing.
And I don't know. Okay, let me check something. Okay, just continue. Let me look at something because I'm trying to hide him. Is not okay. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm saying that it's such a painful thing. I'm fine. I've been off, so allow me to take this opportunity first to give my views on that kindly, and then I'll get into the specifics. It's my first time, of course, commenting on the aftermath of Sabasaba, and just like I did say, it is such a painful thing that there are a number of families who lost their loved one, and just like I've mentioned, some of them lost their breadwinners, brothers, sisters, and to me, I believe, and Barak here will tell you as a scientist, that leaders are elected by people, and if they're elected by people, they need to listen to the people that have elected them, because even as a president, you need to be ruling people, and you can't rule people when they are not together. So I think he needs to just have a look at what is happening in the country and give it a dialogue. The buck stops with the president. The president has the bigger say on what really the kind of country that we are going to have. If he decides that he's going to listen to the people who are continuously going to the street, I think that would partly solve the problems that are currently there. But again, he needs to handle everything which is happening. I know it is a threat to his government, but as much as it is a threat to his government, I think the life of the people really matters as well. If people are going out to loot, we don't, personally, I do not support the looting. But I think the question we are supposed to be asking is, why is it that people are going to loot? What is the reasons that are making people to loot? And I think that if we had a country where people would afford their basic needs, then they would not find time or easily get out to go loot other people's property. But again, it is so unfair and unfortunate that we have leaders again who are also using young youth. They're taking advantage just because the youths are there, they're learned, they have nothing, but they need to survive. They're, paying youths to also get into bad activities which are then not really helping, the country, but instead bringing a big rift in the country. If we continue with the direction that we are taking, Brother Ben, I can tell you that we are going to have problems in Kenya. We are going to go the Haiti way, because at this particular time we are having a point. We are at a point where we have got the police force ruling, doing their part. We've got the goons doing their part, and we've got civilians who also believe that they are somehow neutral. It is my urge, the president, that we hears what it takes to sort the problems that we are facing as a country. He needs to call his troops on order. He needs to bring the country together, because Kenya is home. We do not have any other home. If we continue the way we are going, I can tell you we are not headed in the right direction. And I urge, especially leaders who sits around the president, that they advise him rightly. Let them not just tell the president that no, let them not tell the president that he has the power to to do what he can do. I don't think that is right. He needs to cool down, and get to understand what is happening. Something else that I want to give my take on is the shoot to kill. I think the statement started from the president, and I can say that as a president that was voted by the majority of the people of Kenya, I don't think that is right for him. Those are not right words. It should be coming out of the president's mouth. He needs to retract and find a way of, addressing the issue. Because at this rate, if we continue with giving threats of going to shoot, the issue of shooting, it was said the other time, it did not stop the 25th demonstration from going on. It was said sometimes back, it did not stop the people who went for demonstration during the death of Albert. And so the more they come with threats, the more the people of Kenya also feels that, or the demonstrators feel that the president is not addressing them, is not giving them the ear. And that is not how things should be solved. It is so unfortunate that I also did hear a member of parliament saying that they actually should not be shot on the leg, they should be killed. I think those things needs to be investigated. As a member of parliament, we do elect members of parliament to represent the people. And part of representation entails getting to understand what is really affecting your constituents. And upon getting to understand what is affecting your constituents, you then take the issues to parliament and you try make laws and things that are going to then assist, solving the problem. It is so unfortunate that a member of parliament would also come out. I've always understood that parliament is, we have three arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And the role is very clear. The role of the parliament, they should always be counter-checking on what is happening at the executive. I think the best thing the parliament would have done is to call the president to come and clarify on his remarks on shoot, and instead of doing that, we are having a member of parliament who is also coming out and fueling it more. And the question we are asking is, do we really love our country? I want to say the political class, of course, do not really care about this country. They do not care about what the people of Kenya are going through. They do not care about the sufferings of the people. And they now want to kill. The moment you start killing, you give that order, we will have so many people either living with disability. We will have so many families either losing their loved ones, and it is going to be a pain which is going to be consistent. The question is, do you want to lead a country where there are so many people living with disability? Remember that again is going to affect what we call the economic viability of a country, and it is so painful. We need to sit down as a people and have this conversation. And I like the fact that we've started having this conversation that is aimed us at, the betterment of this country where we live.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barak. It has been long, and you've been invisible, hauonekani kwa Kiswahili tunasema hivyo, ni muda mwingi, na tunakushukuru sana kwa kuja kufanya kipindi na sisi. Swali langu la kwanza, when you listen to such utterances, especially coming from the state officers, because those have been given the mandate. First of all, they've been given the mandate. Second of all, they are the administration in power, talking about the shoot to kill, and we know the Constitution also gives people right to life. How do you balance the two, Mr. Barak? He's hearing.
Yes. Thank you, Brother Ben, and let me start by saying hi to you, Mark and Meguda, and hi to all our viewers, those who have joined us, the likes I see Gutonga, Byron, Gypsy Corner, and the rest. So your question is very specific.
Okay, okay. Let me not make it specific. Maybe you can give it a different approach. But the reason why I'm trying to be very specific on the question is because, especially like a moment where we are, and we have the president who is the head of the state, and we have the CS who is also in charge of the security. Again, then we have the member of parliament who is the lead or is a leader, especially chairing one of the very, 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 very sensitive and very powerful committee in the country. Talking of such, that's why it's kind of like very specific. Where are we headed?
Thank you. It's unfortunate. I've heard what my brother Miguda and Mark has said, and I just want to add on what they've already said. It's unfortunate to listen to such sentiments coming from the leaders who are entrusted with the responsibility of leading our country. However, I want to have a departure slightly, because when the president speaks, he speaks as the commander in chief. So he commands all the armed forces, and police being one of them, because police is an armed force, even though it's a national police service. So when he speaks, his words is like the law. We say that we have the constitution, but when the president speaks, even though we are a democratic country, but the president's words carries a lot of weight, especially when he's talking about issues to do with the national security, and giving orders to an armed force like the police. So that's why he's called the commander in chief. So he commands these forces. So when he tells them that go and shoot their legs and don't kill them, it carries a lot of weight. But because we are right now, we are we are a country in crisis right now. So his sentiments will be interpreted differently by different players. So because we are in a crisis, I think it could have been it could have been maybe he could have been guided to discuss such issues in the National Security Council, so that because these are matters of national security. What we saw during the Sabasaba and during the commemoration of the first anniversary of breaching of parliament, that was on 25th of June. Those two demonstrations, they were not only demonstrations, but they were the kind of violence we witnessed as a country, the kind of killings by the security agencies, the kind of looting, the kind of arson attack to not only private property but also state property. That was so alarming as a country. And I think the president is failing to take leadership as the head of state and the head of government. When you are the president, you are not only the president, but you are a father of a country. Wewe ni baba wa taifa. We used to Moi was the one who used to be called baba wa taifa, and the president is really baba wa taifa, because if you are not careful, a country is like a home, and the president is like the father figure of the home. So when things are going wrong and you are not taking the right steps to restore sanity in your home, then you will be a failure as the baba wa taifa we have. But on the other hand, someone like Koech, Koech is a member of parliament. Yes, he chairs the committee that is in charge of security and everything, but he does not give orders to the police. He was just excited and talking without thinking. And police do not take orders from Koech because he's just a politician. Police takes orders from the head of state, who is the commander in chief, and the CS, and also the structure of headed by the police IG. And that is why if a police commits a crime, the way you see the guy who was charged today, Baraza, is going to be charged with murder tomorrow, because he committed a crime as an individual. So he cannot go there and say that he had a proclamation by a politician in Belgut, saying that shoot to kill, then you go and you exercise the same. And that is not a defense, and because that is not an order to the police, just an opinion, a politician give an opinion, and it's unfortunate because Koech is someone is a politician allied to the president, and you know, even not, I think even Kenyans have a problem, because when he said that, he was, people who are there clapped for him. So what does that tell you? The attitude of Kenyans, those guys, people who are there in Belgu, they clapped for him when he said that shoot to kill. And I think that's unfortunate. And another issue I want to highlight here, where when we are in a crisis, a country, it is not only the responsibility of the president to restore sanity, because the country is divided not only in the middle, but people who are against the president, let me say people who are supporting the opposition, are a big number right now. So it's only incumbent upon people who are leading the opposition to come up and ensure that they restore sanity in this country, because we have a country that is going astray. Remember, when there's a crisis, you bring the protagonists together. Yeah, this opposing side and this opposing side, you bring them together. So who is going to bring them together? Because the president is not willing to offer an olive branch to the opposition, because as long as there's still this kind of high-handedness between the president's side and the opposition side, we cannot resolve the crisis that we are in right now, because all of us are living in this country. We can see the leadership of the government and the leadership of the opposition, how they are talking at each other, how they are calling each other names, how they are insulting each other. I can assure you, we cannot have we cannot coexist peacefully in this country if this continues, because this kind of polarization that's going on as a country, it requires leadership. And when the president is failing to offer that leadership, we need someone who can offer that leadership. And because it seems the president is failing, the opposition is failing, the legislators are failing, so we are finding ourselves in a scenario where there is no one who is willing to offer leadership. Yeah.
You know, but I agree with what you're saying about the leadership, and when we are approaching such like conversation, I know we do have political affiliation. We have political affiliation, and at the same time we have a country. So we are speaking at a point of a country and its people, because at the end of the day, it is quite sad to see a 12-year-old just losing the life like that. Because in a country or everywhere, there's what we call a proactive. And the proactive is being somebody who can protect or act on the red flags, if you might say that, what are the things that might happen and what can we put in place for such to happen. But there's a point of departure here, be it the president or be it the opposition. There's a point of departure. Their point of departure is the core. What are people talking about here? If you listen to Koech, then I want to speak on a point of leadership and want to tell you, who is he speaking to? Wasifikiri sisi ni waoga, eti wanatupangia na sisi tumekaa. Na mnukuu, ndio amesema hivi, kama kupanga wasifikiri hatuwezi panga. Who are the audience? Are the audience the Kenyan people, or are the audience the political protagonists? They are people that they're competing, because it's a competition on here. It's a competition of the political class, because all of them wants power. Who is he speaking to? Is he speaking to the people who went on the protest, or is he speaking to people who went and looted, or is he speaking to the people that they have divergence view to? That is the approach. Wasifikiri hawa ni wakina nani ambao wanazungumza nao. Now we are looking at the leadership. Forget about the political affiliation, because this is something that is affecting the country. Who is he speaking to? And who was the president speaking to again? Who was then Kipchumba Murkomen speaking to? And if you go to the opposition, who are they speaking to? Mr. Barak, maybe if you can assist us, because that is the question where I usually don't understand.
Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem?
Okay.
We are. Our politics is very funny and very interesting because our politics thrive in chaos and mayhem. And we have politicians who really love creating chaos so that they can thrive. And when Kenya is at it's stable politically, it's at peace. There are some politicians who will just disappear because they cannot thrive in a peaceful environment. And when the president talked about people who are making noise and they did not make noise during Kibaki's time or Uhuru's time. Obvious, you know who the people that he's referring to. Even when Koech was talking about the people who are always talking about one term and everything, and he's saying that they are also planning as this other side continue to plan. That is politics, and politics. Obvious, Kenya being a political country, that everything is politicized. They are just playing politics, and I can assure you that how far we've gone as a country. Any politician can say anything, but you cannot you cannot repeat what happened here in 2007. It is not possible because of the structures that are in place right now compared to then. And also the kind of awareness that is in place right now compared to them. Unless you just use a different mean, what happened in 2007 was so obvious that even a blind man could see. But going forward in 2027, this kind of talk, you remember there's a day that Sudi said that even if votes will not be enough, we will easily add votes. So he didn't say where they will get these votes to add. So such talks are very dangerous because number one, even if you win, people will not believe that you've won election because you already said that you will add votes if votes are not enough, and you already say that you're also planning something that you're not telling us what is it that you're planning. So you are preparing your opponent for challenging your victory and claiming that the election was not free and fair. So I don't know what happens to people when they're in power, because it seems like power gets into their head and they even talk without thinking. And I think Kenya, where we are right now, we should be a little bit wiser, especially people who are supporting either side. Because right today you are speaking the way you are speaking. Tomorrow, when the shoe is shifted on the other feet, you will now start crying foul when things start going south. For example, let me give you an example. Today we are having a member of parliament and some Kenyans being charged with terrorism. Right now in Kenya. If I ask a question, do you know where this law came from? This law that is charging Kenyans with terrorism. This law was passed in parliament when Justin Muturi was the speaker and Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, William Ruto was the deputy president. And if you remember, I think it was around 2015, 2016. That day, even I remember the ODM tried to stop these laws from being passed. But they managed to halt the business of the house on that day. But Uhuru called those members of parliament, the Jubilee members of parliament in State House, and gave them firm instructions. These laws must be passed tomorrow. And Muturi convened the House the following day, and they passed this law without any amendment. Right now, that law is the one that is now being used against the Kenyans and against the members of parliament, and quote unquote, the camp that Justin Muturi is. So, even if you are making a law, there's a scholar who said, make a law that can be that is so then be comfortable to make a law that even when your enemy is in power, you'll not be afraid. You'll not be, because they will not abuse the laws when they are in power. But the problem with Kenyans is that when we are in power, we forget, that power is temporary. Today we are in power, tomorrow we are not in power. So what we are doing with power today, even when our enemy is in power tomorrow, they will do more than what we are doing today. So when Koech is speaking today, he is forgetting, that power is temporal. Even you are not even sure if in 2027 you will be re-elected as a member of parliament, leave alone the president. So what happens? What happens in 2027 when now you are out of power and now the other side is in power?
So yes, so those are some of the conversations that especially we should be having and letting the voters know that how the politics, especially with the politicians, usually play the politics. I'm informed here that the Gitonga Mukunji and his illegal team has won right now the first round. He's out of bail of Kenya shillings 300,000. Hii ingekuwa mwananchi wa kawaida, wewe ungeweza? Ungelala ndani. Joseph, how are you doing, sir?
How are you, brothers?
We are doing fine. We are trying to look at the leadership and what is happening, and having a candid conversation, especially on how the voters themselves, especially as Kenyans, should find a way to navigate, especially this point in time whereby our political landscape is volatile, very, 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 very volatile, depending when you see the remarks that are coming from the leaders who are supposed to represent the view of the people and the challenges. We tend to focus on, would I say, that issues that sometimes cannot bring food on the table. And I believe that even if you shoot and kill and you don't solve the issues that are on the ground, I don't think, if you don't bring good legislation, especially like Mr. Koech, that one will not solve the issue. And we're just having a conversation and, to see what is the way forward, especially maybe if you can give your take on the remarks that has been made again today by a legislature from Belgut, Honorable Nelson Koech.
Yes, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I came in when you were talking about Mokonji.
Yes.
It's funny that even the person who was prosecuting the case cannot even be able to talk straight.
Yes, I saw that.
He was dilly-dallying. So if we don't have cases against people, let's drop these shenanigans. We are wasting people's time and the court's time. The court has important things to do than bringing your shenanigans as a government to court. How will you bring two people and tell them that they are being accused of a plot of terrorism, that they are the ones who burnt the police station? Was the police station burnt by one person or the two individuals? Some things I don't even take keen interest in them because they are just wasting. It's just a waste of people's time. And even when he poses bail, I think this case the government was caught hands down. So after the bail, we are going to see. Maybe if he wins the case, he's going to be returned his money, because bail is, you put a bail so that you can be able to stay out till you can be acquitted of your cases. Also, it is a very wonderful evening that one of the police officers who thought that he could have power he thought that he's the one who has power over life. As we have heard, he has been told that he's going to be prosecuted for murder. That one was a big win. So if we have a big win, we need also to say it. Let him be prosecuted. I don't feel pity for him at all. For Nelson Koech, this one was targeting a community, brother. You heard what he said. He said his words were, kwa nini nyinyi hamkukuwa, I'm quoting, it's not me saying, I'm quoting what he said. He said, kwa nini hamkupigia Kibaki kelele? Kwa nini hamkupigia Uhuru kelele? So what is he meaning? What was he meaning when he's saying like that? He's meaning that those people, because they were Kikuyu, they were not made noise, people did not make noise at them. So he's dragging us back to that tribal politics. Then I also ask him a question also. Why does he not talk about Moi? Moi had 24 years. Why did we not hear him looping Moi inside of that whole affair? So if he's supposed to be talking, he's supposed to be saying these two tribes should never hold power. because they have been in power. What is he trying to tell us? If he's saying Moi, Kibaki, Uhuru, and Kenyatta, then even Moi had power. So all of us, they are enough. There will be how many years? 30 years. Everybody will be having 30, 35 years. Let us give power to the other people. Yes. So if he's going to start these drums of war, let him be ready. He has been drumming up wars in Belgut. I heard about his story today in the evening. He has been drumming up wars in Belgut. And when he brings his boys, they are always beaten. So let him try this. This he knows is a new Kenya. If this is not the same monkey business they were doing in 2007, this one will be a very serious one.
Okay, thank you so much for your comment. And Miguda, let me come to you, because now we have to give, when we look at constitution and we are looking at the right to life, especially in such like situation, whereby just if it happens, especially when you might be shot on the leg, you're not guaranteed that you might survive, because we saw for the case of Rek Masai, that is a very perfect example that people give, because you might be shot on the leg. Then the emergency services, especially like how to get the ambulance or how to get the first aid at the initial stages, might not be available at that particular moment, and you might lose your life. What does it now speak about right to life that is provided for in our constitution?
Thank you. Also, let me welcome Barak. It has been long to the show. And Joseph, yesterday I never made it to the show. I was engaged somewhere, but I saw you later. Joseph, I just want to reiterate what you have said before I come to the question I've been asked. The issue of Belgut lawmaker, Nelson Koech. And Marco Bura is privy to this information because it's neighboring the constituency where Marco Bura is coming from, or rather where I'm coming from. But me, I'm coming from two constituencies, so that's why I refer to Marco Bura. There is this so-called war which has been happening in the border of Kalenjin and Luo Nation, the Sondu region. And the last time it happened, actually I was at Sondu and I was gathering my intels. The same lawmaker brought youthful people with machete, but they could not fight with those machete. So they had to bring the GSU for reinforcement. But actually, the Luo Nation along that border chased them away. And they know very well what can happen. So, tuende tu polepole, Mabuna Vita, let that lawmaker, he knows very well what I'm saying. And by that time, Kindiki was the CS for Interior. Actually came by chopper. I saw him and he tried to negotiate between the two communities. And also, Ruto gave an order later that they should cease to fight. That terrain is very good. And whenever I'm there, I usually go for morning runs. So I surpassed that. There's a lot of good place to run over there. So I can go. I usually go up to the Belgoat, up to those rivers, up to those valleys. But it is always peaceful. And sometimes we usually talk to them. But when they get someone who is drunk, we know what they are doing to those people. So I just want to reiterate what Joseph has said. Joseph, that lawmaker, we know him. We know his character. We know what he's capable of doing. But they usually hide behind the state, that is the GSU, but when they are left alone, there is nothing they can do. So that's why we are telling people we should not fight each other, because we know each other very well. When you start this war, some people might not get it very easy. So let us just allow the police to protect us internally, and let us go on that business as usual. And remember the same center. We are Kisis, Luos, and Kalenjin. So there's no need for us to fight, because we need each other. The Kalenjins are bringing cows, the Kisis are bringing even the maize. They are bringing from Kalenjin and the Kisi, and also the Luos are bringing samaki. So this issue of trying to make it like you want to make people to fight, we should stop it at all cost, because we have fought before the same place, and they know what has happened to them. So waache hii mambo ya vita. Let us allow the police to protect us internally, and let that lawmaker not make us. Maybe he want to get another term. I think he was talking to the constituents. And what Baraka said also, very interesting, that the people whom he was talking but to that moment, they were clapping and laughing. It's like a primitive thing. They know that you should not kill someone. Then you are clapping because that is your lawmaker. That's why I told you, we know them. We know them very well. We don't want just go into details, but even in terms of reasoning, we know who they are. So, watch out now. What, Brother Benson, you talked about the issue of the right to life, and it is very critical because we have the constitution, a very good one, not only in Kenya, not only in Africa, but in the entire world. It's one of the best constitution ever in the entire world, and it's very clear that we have right to life because the basic rights and fundamental freedoms have been incorporated. The entire basic right and fundamental freedoms, the way it is in the United Nations, it is just copy pasted to our constitution. So we enjoy all the basic rights and fundamental freedoms. And one of the core rights we enjoy is the right to life, whereby each and every person has a right to life. Rex Masai has a right to life. William Ruto has a right to life. Koech, Murkomen, even Barasa has a right to life. Even Albert Ojwang has a right to life. So it is each and every one, not only the state or the CS or the president who should live, but since they should die, all of us, we should live. The reason why it is a basic right is because once you are born and you are on the planet Earth, so if you die, you will not come back again. So it was wise to put it as a core right because no one can give that right back to you. Nobody. It can't happen. It has never happened. Once you die, you are gone. We can't have Albert again. We can't have Rex Masai again. We are just having them as the late people, those who are late in life. Because right now, as we are not late, so they are late in life. And the reason why it is a good constitution, even in our penal code, previously, when there were some cases whereby some people are being sentenced to death. There were death sentences in the country, and also there were life imprisonment. But as times goes by, I think there was a decision by the Supreme Court of the Kenya when Uhuru was the president. They pronounced themselves, or it was an advisory opinion, that the death sentence was abolished in this country. Actually, Kenya, there is no death sentence. That is why Baraza is going to be charged with murder. But the consequence of murder is not that he's going to be killed or hanged.
Yeah.
He's going to be maybe sentenced life imprisonment, or maybe some more years. By the time he will be finishing, he'll be old, or maybe this how court is being directed by the Judiciary Act. So it was abolish death sentence because we understand that even if someone has committed a crime, you take him through trial. There is no way this person, if you have killed him, is going to get that life back. That's why at all cost, let us not kill people. And I like what the KDF said when they were in Naivasha, that mko na haki ya kufanya maandamano, lakini mkifanya maandamano zenu kama raia mfanye kwa amani. That is good. Let us not kill people. Let us not take the life. Let us not make people suffer. We should ensure that the police protect us, and also we are appealing to the raia people. It is always peaceful and unarmed. This issue of looting and destroying properties, it should not happen. And when the properties have been destroyed or looted, in my view, I believe properties, you can get them back. But a life, once it is lost, you cannot get it back. So I believe when we talk about the issue of right to life, it is something that is critical, that the head of state, or someone who is the figure of the father of the state, he ought not to give such orders that you should kill, you should shoot people. Because when you shoot, even you shoot my leg, you know, I can bleed profusely until I demise, because it is not guarantee that when you shoot my leg, I can't bleed. There are those people who can bleed. By the time I'll be in hospital, I'll be half dead. So I don't encourage at all costs that people should be shot at the leg, because you can shoot my leg, then I bleed profusely, I die. Already my life has been taken. And also, piga ye risasi. No, usipige mtu risasi. And finally, shoot to kill by courage. You should not shoot to kill, because the moment you are there, if you know, they will identify you and do investigation, then during prosecution, you will be baraza. Coach will not be there, and the CS and president. So you will be charged separately. Even if they will try to cover up you understand judiciary, but I like our judiciary of late, because the judiciary tend to follow the law to the latter. That even though there are some challenges, of course, but mostly they are trying. So you will be charged separately. Therefore, my last advice to the police officers, and because like us, we understand that there's politics and politicians. We understand they have totally understand that lawmaker very well.
Yeah.
In my first home, I neighbor him, so I understand him. So I know what he's capable of doing, what's capable of. So some are just politics, the way he's trying to threaten the community. But other than politics, the police officers should not rely on those orders. The police officer should act within the concept of the law, concept of the penal code, and also it should act with the National Police Service Commission, getting orders from the IG and maybe the commander in charge of the operation, so that whenever he's in court, he can defend himself that, as for me, I got orders from the commander of operation or from the IG. But you cannot go to court to say that I got orders from COH, or I got order from president, or I get order from CS. The court will ask you, you are working under who? Because the NPSC is independent. You don't need to get orders from those people.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Benzo, can I put something up before you continue? The police officer who refused Murkomen orders has just been transferred to Ethiopia, Kenya-Ethiopian border.
Okay, okay. I think there was the one who spoke.
Yeah, the one who spoke. He has been transferred.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me come to Marco Bura, then I will invite Barak. Marco Bura, you spoke about it is that time that we should sit down and people and have a conversation. And the same we had talk about this. And this one comes as a result of we've always seen a situation whereby when a country is in crisis, like what we are experiencing right now, the leaders have always come, and sat with everyone, especially, I mean, like leaders, they've chosen themselves, okay, the people who they feel that should sit on those committee and communicate or have a conversation on the behalf of Kenya and country and to point out those issues. But at some point, as we speak, they've never yielded or they've never been actualized. What do you think convinces us that if indeed we realize that we know that there's a crisis that we are dealing with here as a country, and we have this conversation and the resolution comes out, what makes us sure that they will be followed to the latter?
Okay. Thank you. I still think that we are a constitutional country, and the fact that we are a constitutional country, we respect the constitution. And there's a time I heard the president say that those who want to overthrow me or to send him home should know that there's a constitution. I agree with him. We have a constitution, And I also think the opposition also said their bit, and they said that we do not really want to overthrow you or to send you home. We will actualize what is in the constitution, and that maybe them who had the different opinion, they said that they will wait for the ballot. And I wanted to say that I don't think there's going to be a change in the sense that we are. Remember, we've had these leaders. If you remember, the first time we had the first demonstration, that was on June 2024. The clarion call was very clear. The people
Yeah.
of Kenya had a problem with, they had a problem with the finance bill. The people of Kenya came out and said very well that we do not want this finance bill, and they gave reasons why they did not really wanted the finance bill. First, the high taxes was it, and the issues of development. It was not really going to assist the people of Kenya, according to what they said. And just like what the constitution said, they spoke through their members of parliament, but the members of parliament decided to, make decisions on their own. They did not really listen to the people. Public participation was done. The people said, no, we can't continue this way. And still, they did. Oh, okay, sir. Uh, they did pass the finance bill. And that finance bill that which was passed made the people to go to the street and to remind the government that, you know what, we respect you, you have the powers. But again, we also have the power because the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya says very well that the power belongs to the people. And for that reason, upon a realization that the leadership was not listening to them, what happened is that they went and demonstrated to show their dissatisfaction with the fact that it was passed without them accepting. So out of that, we saw the president coming out. If you remember, the first press he did, he said that what he saw, yeye aliona wahalifu ambao walienda maandamano, and he gave his reasons. And I think some people maybe advised him. He has so many advisors, and they came out and told him that you have to retract. And that is when the president came out. That's when the president came out and said that we are not going to continue with this finance bill. What we are going to do is we are going to retract it, to retract it and possibly move without it. Before he made that step, there were calls from the grounds. There were people dying. I don't think he's going to come out easily to solve the issues, because if really wanted to solve the issues, if really wanted to listen to the youths, if he wanted to unite the country, I think he would have done. Because even the comments which are still coming shows you that he's not really ready to listen to the people. I think just like Barack did say, the president is the father of the nation. But as a father, you let me give you a typical example. In your own house or in your own home, you may have children, and these children may be, their reasoning and how they do things might be different. That cannot, stop you as a father from uniting the family. That is why we've always had successful families. The same thing, I know running a country is not easy. I know and understand that it is, as much as I'm trying to equate it to a family, it is not really that. But I still believe that the president has the power to ensure that the problems that the people of Kenya are going through are sorted. But as things are going, I think he's simply showing that he's not really ready to listen. We are seeing deaths of people, and that is what really pains me. Because to me, I'm a Catholic, and we have Father here at the comment section, Father Didi. He will tell you that life is a sacred thing that is given by God, and no one, not any human being, is supposed to kill any other human being. To me, that is the most painful thing, that we have leaders who are not do not care. People are being killed, they do not care. They're not solving the problem. They're not listening to the youth, and that is such a painful thing. And that, of course, tells you that the government or the leadership is still not ready to listen to the cries of the people. And that is why they're coming out to still threaten. And they know very well, just like I did say, when you threaten these young people, that motivates them. The reason why we had the second demonstration after the 25th June 2024 is because the president came out and spoke in a way that mtadu ni mimi ndio preso, I can make all the decision. That angered the people of Kenya, and that is why there was the second demonstration. If you'd have addressed that in a sober way, we would not have experienced the second demonstration. Not just that, the previous demonstrations that we've had, some of them has been, people have been coming out just because they want to tell the people in leadership that as much as you guys hold the power, as much as you guys have the power, we are still the majority. If you are not going to listen to us, we are going to destabilize your government. That is a sign that people are not happy. If people are not happy, you need to sit down and listen to them. If you are not going to listen to them, then who then do you want to rule? That is the question we are asking. We are still appealing. Personally, I do not want to see people die. I do not want to see families live, breadwinners die. I do not want to see families, brothers and sisters live. And they're living at a painful moment just because we have leaders. And these young people are coming out to just criticize and to tell the people in government that we are not happy, we are suffering, instead of addressing, instead of creating job for them, so that they, Brother Ben, do you know why we have so many people going for demonstration? There's a high number of youths who are unemployed. Call demonstration even the whole week, from Monday to Sunday, they will come out. Why is it that the president is not seeing this? Why is it that he's not coming up with ways so that the youths are not idle? If they are idle, they will come for demonstration. They are going to make the government unstable. Solution to it is providing, and listening to them and speaking in a way that they are also recognized. They are the majority. If you don't recognize them, then it's not going to be easy for the government to continue running. So it's upon the president to make the right decision. I hope so.
Okay, thank you, Makubura. And those are the decisions that we want to look at. And what are these decisions, especially that the president can make, as so many people are calling for dialogue. Mr. Barak, let me just engage you on this. Do you feel like when our leaders, especially including the president, anybody who is called a leader, has gotten an opportunity, especially during this crisis, they've not handled it in the best way they could? Like they've missed that moment whereby we know it is happening and how can we cool down the temperature, rather than when they get the moment, it is a superior who is superior than, like, everybody is trying to test how powerful they are in the political arena. Do you feel we've missed that moment, especially as leadership?
Yes, sorry, Brother Ben. I think thank you for that. If you are married and you need to keep reminding your wife that you are the man in that house, just know that there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are the man, you don't need to keep reminding her that I'm the man in this house, and that is what is happening in this country in terms of the leadership that we have. Because the president has to remind us that he's the president and he's in charge. And leadership is not about titles, about what service to the people. What are you doing to ensure that you bring change, or that you try to transform the lives of people? And during crisis, that is when leadership is seen. The president, and if you remember, the press by Murkomen after 25th June 2025, It was just full of emotions. And there is no way you can speak properly if you are full of emotions. The moment you allow your emotions to get the best of you, you've lost it. And that is what even is happening with the president. Emotions. And this emotions is on the both sides, both government side and also on the opposition side. So this is a problem that we are going to continue to experience crisis, because up to now, we don't have leadership. And as long as we are not having leadership, we are going to continue to sink deeper and deeper into crisis. And let me tell you, the reasons why the president is not able to offer leadership out of this crisis is because even I think sometimes it's lack of maturity. And the people that I can personally point accusing finger on, a country, the president is not the first president of this country. We had previous presidents, and one of them is still alive, Uhuru Kenyatta. Raila Odinga has been a prime minister of this country. When he was serving with Mwai Kibaki, he was leading half of the government. Kalonzo Musyoka has been a vice president in this country, and he's still active in politics. Now, if you take a comparative example of a civilized society, people who have served at the highest offices, those are the people who usually chart a way forward when a country is facing a crisis. For instance, in our context right now, it is the responsibility of Uhuru Kenyatta, who handed power to William Ruto, responsibility of Kalonzo Musyoka, who has served as the vice president and senior most in politics, and Raila Odinga, who has been a prime minister in this country, to call Ruto to order and try to give him counsel on how to lead the country out of this crisis. Remember, when Mwai Kibaki became the president, and how they took over power, and Moi was kicked out, and he went to Baringo. He went to Kabarak. When Kibaki faced a crisis in 2005 after losing referendum, Kibaki called Moi to State House to seek for advice. Yeah? And Moi gave him, as a statesman, when you serve as the president, you're retired. We were still drawing your retirement benefit from the public. So you still owe us as a country. When we are facing a crisis, what is your responsibility? There is no country where when you retire, the country is sinking and you're just there. You're keeping quiet.
But Bharat, okay, sorry to cut you, because you are raising a very legitimate question and talking about those who have served. But at a particular moment whereby the country is in crisis and you're calling for a statesmanship, but for instance, you feel like those who have been in the statesmanship, they tend to take side. How will that one work? That is the first question. Secondly, talking about the statesmanship, and you can also bear witness, especially when especially the new administration came into power, you saw what happened to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. You saw what happened to Raila Odinga when he was protesting. Also, even with the Kalonzo Musyoka, when they are not agreeing, how then can we just only agree when we have crisis? Yes, there are some precedents that we've set, especially as the leadership, especially who have served the country and retired. If that respect is not given to you, maybe, for instance.
I understand you and I agree with you. And that's why I gave you an example of when Moi was going home.
Yeah.
Remember how Moi was treated when he was handing over power to Mwai Kibaki. Read or watch the clips of what happened at Uhuru Park, how he was treated, and how he spent only 3 minutes in State House after handing over power to Kibaki. Let me tell you, the problem the problem we have as a country is lack of respect to people who have served in high offices. Yeah, because when you mistreat someone after serving their 2 terms, they are going home. These are these are the kind of wisdom that a country needs in times of crisis. And if you go to any civilized society, any civilized country, you can even take an example of our neighbor here, Tanzania. Retired presidents are treated with utmost respect, and they're the one who are called upon. Even in Kenya, when we were having problem in 2007, one of them, the late Benjamin Mkapa, came here to help us, because once you serve at the highest office and you retire, you are the people who the country banks on in terms of crisis. And you come and you offer. You don't take side, because we have a country that is in crisis. We need solutions. The person who is sitting on the presidency does not seem to have solution. This country is sinking. Are we going to sink together with him because we hate him so much? Are we going to step aside and I'm returning president to allow the country to sink with everybody because we don't like the driver? That is not wisdom. Every civilized society, you don't behave like that way, and that's why we are getting it all wrong. We need to have these statesmen in this country to come together and help the Ruto to offer leadership out of this crisis. And if they don't do that, I can assure you, even 2027 that people are singing about, we might not even reach there when we are still together as one country. We might not reach there, because if the masses comes out and they decide that they are going to walk to State House, how many are you going to kill before they reach State House? Yeah, you cannot. And once the masses reach a State House, are we going to still have are we going to have a country? Yeah, we are a democratic country that has been changing leadership through elections after every 5 years, at least since 1992. Yeah, and if that is altered, if that is interfered with, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Things are not going to be the same as usual. Once you alter the process of regime change, the way you have the way you are used to, it means it's going to be extra constitutional. And what are you going to do to revert back to constitutional means? I can assure you, it's not going to be easy the way some people might think so. There are countries who have slipped into self-destruction, and they are there. Egypt, Libya is one of them. In 2011, when Arab Spring was sweeping across North Africa, Libya was a very stable country, economically viable. Yeah. Right now, Libya, everybody has an illegal gun, and everybody is a government on their own. So we should learn from countries that have slipped into self-destruction, and we should not allow ourselves also to slip into self-destruction because of one individual who is who is the head of state and is not willing to offer leadership out of a crisis that everybody. Right now, we are a subject in all the international media. If you look at Al Jazeera, look at CNN, look at BBC, everywhere, we are being discussed as a country that is in total chaos. Yeah.
Yes.
And we are having senior citizens, people who are statesmen, who have served president, deputy vice president, prime minister. What are they doing in this country? Yeah. In terms of politics, these guys are more experienced than Ruto. In terms of age, they are more mature than Ruto. Yeah. So why can't they bring this man to order and offer leadership so that Kenya can get out of this crisis?
Okay, thank you, Barak. I listened to you. I don't know whether to engage Mr. Karaoke on the same, because I agree with what Barak is saying. One of the crises that we've faced as a country, from the Moi time to where we are, especially, is the leadership, and we've failed so much terribly, whereby even if we get power, not even like the presidential power, even at our local positions, talk of the MCA, the governor, the women rep and all that, the power that especially like a member of parliament sometimes talks, it tells you that that dignity that come with the leadership sometimes is not recognized. And especially in civilized countries, the way Baraka said, especially if you've gotten an opportunity to watch on how the Americans hand over power, especially one of the things that usually happen is that somebody has to come and tour the state house, and you are taken through, and like is a do we call it training? You know, you're still being trained on how it should be. But
orientation.
Yes, orientation. That's the best word I was looking for. Thank you for that. Yeah, you are taken through orientation. You're being told on how it works. This is how it works. And even the people, especially who are working at those houses, they are civil servants. You know, you just only come with advisors. That is something that, but the people who are working, the chefs and all that, those are people who are employed by the state. The only people that you have to come with are your advisors. But which we don't see, even the respect for the president, for the senior leaders. And I mentioned to you, look at in 2023 when Raila was protesting, what happened? The security is withdrawn, and you could even listen to members of parliament when they're saying that we can go and take off those benefits. Your benefit. Look at even what happened between the president and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, whereby in his office, even his benefits had to be reduced. Just maybe because there was that political differences. Remember when his sons and all that, they were, when his sons, you know, but this is somebody who has served at the head of state, the former president. And after burning all these bridges amongst the politicians, you know, and the countries in the crisis, how now do they start to come together? Because the other time I listened to Kalonzo, His Excellency Kalonzo, talking about like that dialogue. He talked about, he was called about to propose for that dialogue, and he said no. Yeah, that mistrust between us, especially the leaders and the people that are entrusted to lead us. And when you see the narrative that is being pushed, instead of us looking at the core issues, why are we here? Why do we have this crisis? But what we push, everybody, we push a tribal narrative. How then are we going to solve issues like this? That if we have this conversation as a people, how will we, Mr. Joseph?
My brother.
Yeah.
The only way you can.
Yeah.
And let me start by this. You can only advise a person who wants to be advised. If he does not want to be advised, you can do nothing about it. You can beat up your drums and you can yell at the top of Mount Kenya, but he will not listen to your advice. I don't think it's lack of advice that Ruto lacks. Because if it is advice, he has been advised even by this Gen Z, what to do with his government. Everybody has told him what to do. We are even tired of telling him what to do. I came here and I placed list of demands that the Gen Z were demanding. He was not even able to fulfill one. The first one was to chase all his cabinet secretaries and bring people who can be able to work for the people of Kenya. He did not even try to do that. So you cannot continue giving advice to a person you see does not want to change. Then, in any instance, if he wants advice, he needs to go and seek the advice himself. He's the one who is ruling, no? Yeah. You cannot wait for somebody to be coming to you, to your doorstep, to be advising you. You're the one who is supposed to be seeking advice from them. You should be going to them and seeking that advice. Then to top it up, you see what has been happening. When Uhuru comes and tries to talk to him and try to give advice, what do you see his foot soldiers do? They talk about him a whole month, abusing him. So he just saw, if this is the way it's going to be, I come and try to advise you, you abuse me the whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let me just keep quiet and watch the nation, because if I come and try to talk, you just bash me off. He has even, how many advisors does Ruto have? 25. He's the same number of CSs he has. He has 2 CSs. He has the first CSs that we know, and he has advisors who are CSs. What do you advise somebody who has a lot of CSs? What advice do you give him more? He has been advised by even the church. There is nobody who has not advised this guy. We are even tired now. Our lips are tired of advising him, because we have tried to reach to him, tried to even to have debates. He has been brought to media. People have asked questions. We are tired of advising him now. We are tired. That's why you hear people are saying we need him gone. And one thing today I talked about is, this is the first president I've seen he likes to answer everything. Some things you just keep quiet, brother. He has been saying watu wapigwe risasi. You have seen a new song has come out. People pretending they have been shot. Watu wanasema wamepigwa risasi, wanaanza kudance the dance ya kupigwa risasi. Not everything you answer, brother. Have some things you just keep quiet. No need you come and tell. By the way, it's fixing yourself. It's almost fixing yourself. When you hear Nelson Koech coming and drumming what he's talking about, do you know why Sang went to ICC? That short man. Do you remember the short man called Sang?
Yeah, who was working with CAS FM?
Yeah, why did he go to ICC? He did not fight anybody. His words are the ones which made him to go to ICC. The things that he was talking in that radio station. So let people, when they are talking, they just don't talk for the sake. There is something which is being recorded, brother.
Yes.
And you can, I heard the people are here. They are here inside. They are in Kenya. Please be careful of what you are saying. You don't know where it will lead you. I also told my brother, you heard yesterday, I told my brother Kanja to be very careful with the police. But because Hussein Ali found himself in a very difficult place to answer, because he was taken because of police, what they were doing. Not the police who were taken, is the one who was taken. So for Ruto, we are not going to advise him anymore. I don't have even many things to say, because Ruto, I cannot advise him anything. He has been advised by the economics, by Akina Kwame, he labeled them as Mio. By Akina Sifuna, he's been, even Sifuna told him, I cannot come and advise you anything. Why do I advise you anything? Today I was in the parliament. How can you go and advise that parliament? It is just mad. If you look at the parliament, it's mad. Sifuna is trying to tell them that we should not even be put in these billboards and saying that a president has come to launch. Let us put our taxes have launches. Our taxes have built this road. You have come in to put William. They are all bashing him, brother. Our parliament is gone. We never see it again. So there is no amount of advice we can give this guy that can change him. He's like that, and there is nothing we can do.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Mr. Joseph. And you know, that's why, like, we tend to come here and have this conversation and say that, what is the way forward? What can we do, especially for those who are listening? Because, like, maybe we've reached a point whereby we cannot. Because let's just face it and be very candid. And Miguda, I would want you to answer that. Because remember, one of the reason to me now, I think, that of bringing the Right Honorable Prime Minister on board was to assist on how we can solve the issues that I'm in, especially what President was in when the Gen Z went. And that forced the Right Honorable to give out the experts that I think that from their view, they felt that these are the top cream of the people that we feel, if we incorporate them in the government, then the issues that people are raising, these services are going to be delivered. That is one. It went again, and they said, okay, the best way I'm giving you, let's have a 10-point agenda. And remember, when you are having 10-point agenda, this was a national issue. A national issue. That is what we have to talk about. It was a national issue. And they said, okay, this is now what we have to do. especially as a country. But despite all this, and even bringing people like Mutai Kagwe, like you've tried all the means, Kabogo coming in, but seems things not to be working. That is a suggestion. Like there must be somewhere that there's a disconnect somewhere. And how can we find this disconnect? Mr. Miguda, if to say with all the chronology that I've given you and the things are still not working out, so which one is left for the president and the country at large? Because I don't think this is a president issue again. Because even if we say that it cannot be advised, at the end of the day, the people who are feeling it the most are the Kenyan people. Yeah.
Okay. Barak has brought a very interesting topic, and we are taking too much on it, but it's a good one anyway. So first, before I respond to your question, there are things that I want to highlight. The issue of it is always good to make sure that we don't lose this country. And me, I like using the Somali Republic and Central African Republic. And currently, as I'm speaking to you, in Central African Republic, we have like more than 9 rebel groups, and they are armed. And the issue of natural resources, there's gold in Central African Republic. It's also making other nationalists to come in. Like now, this invasion, the Russian are invading the Central African Republic. You understand that initially the French were there, but right now also they are like 2 people struggling to take over from Central African Republic. And even what happened, that's why I don't want to get into this crisis of rebel group, because as a nation, people can decide to rebel, because the way a lawmaker is saying that tunawapangia, okay, wajipange. Other people watajipanga, we can end up with people will rebel against this government. And when people rebel, the Kisis can rebel, the Luya can rebel, the Kikus can rebel, the Lu can rebel. And we are not far from it, because we understand that here in Kenya, the coastal people, Pwani si Kenya, they were saying Mombasa Republic, they started to rebel. So when these things happen, other power struggling states like the Russia, the Israelites, the Ukraine, the United States, they can come in and decide, okay, we, the Russian people, we are backing the Kalenjins, and we, the American, we are backing the Luz, and we, the United Kingdom, we are backing the Jikuyus, and we, the Israeli, we are going with our allies, because if you are our ally internationally, they are backing you. And we can lose a country just as simple as that. And it's very possible, because you understand, even we are rich in minerals, and we are a target actually in the East Africa, because we have tried to sustain our peace for a quite long. Look at the countries surrounding us. Look at Somalia. Look at the Sudan issue, the Congo issue, even the Rwandese. They were not times were never easy in Rwanda before Kagame came to power, and up now it has not come to where it was supposed to be. Look at Uganda, full of dictator. Look at Tanzania right now. Magufuli tried to fix it, but now they have returned it back to the dictatorial state of the CCM. So we have tried to sustain our democracy as Kenya, and to not lose it because of bragging, because you think you know it all, or because you have refused to. Maybe you want to be excited. We have had people in this country. There were so many CS in this country. We have had people even like James Kariuki, who was my favorite historian by that time. And the issue of the law, before I respond to your question, this thing we call law, sometimes you understand that the issue of the law, sometimes to me, it is only convenient for you when it suits you. For instance, Mr. President is telling us right now that mtu mwingine ako kwa mahakama huko anatuamulia vile tunafanya. How dare him calling a magistrate mtu mwingine as who? Magistrate si mtu mwingine. Magistrate, the separation of powers and checks and balances. Magistrate is one of the arm of the government. Is presiding over the judiciary. You can't call him mtu mwingine. You understand that you must respect. So when magistrate has decided to make a decision that roadblocks should not be put during demonstration, that is law. And in our country, It's like they want to put it like it is the president who makes law, that it is the president who interprets law. You know, when we go to that route, we are going to lose the country. We must understand that first, there is that distinction that Mr. President, he is not the king. He is not above the law. He is not making any law here. As a state, the body that is responsible to make laws is the parliament. And we understand that the parliament is the one that makes law. So therefore, when the parliament is the body that makes law, to me, they should come and try to tell people as if that is the one who can interpret law for people, and the body that interprets law is the judiciary. So we must understand that it's like they want to make us to believe that the subjects must obey the law, but the king should not obey the law. No, let us just respect our constitution. Let us uphold the rule of law, all of us, including him, because with him, there was evidence that he swore in that he will uphold, protect, and defend the constitution. But us, we never saw him. But if he swore in, let him uphold this constitution. Lastly, to respond to your question. Now, the 10-point agenda to me, we were actually, because as we have been recorded here, and the people can go back to our videos and find what we said. We said during the MOU that we support the move by Odinga to work with Ruto, because that is his own decision. We cannot make a decision for him. We support that move, but we said we reserve our objective because, to our view, it was not meant for the Kenyan people. To our view, it was not for this country. We say that that is political way for them to move forward as a country. But today, time has vindicated us, because one of the things they decided was that they are going forward, will not have any extrajudicial killing. Abduction will stop. But it is now worse, because even some people have been killed in police custody. So it is even worse. And if that was the case of the 10-point agenda, I want to ride on Sifuna's point that that thing is as dead as dodo, that 10-point agenda. So to me, I want to reiterate that even though we have, Raila's played a part to ensure that we don't go to that route, but the people who must be advised or who must be given that leadership structure, they are not ready to learn. They are not ready to get it from the people. So what do we do? Because not even us, some people speak as if it is only the leadership structure that love the country. Even us right here, we love our country, and we don't want to lose this country. And we have said here, time without number, that this, even as we know our limit, we cannot lose our country because of those things. We must ensure that this country is peaceful, and we transform it at ballot, and also that rotational, whereby the time limit of the constitution is reserved. And also, when I was engaging the older generation about the issue of about the crisis of the country, when I was engaging the older generation about the crisis of the country, they were telling me, and that's why today in my opening remarks, I begin by saying the issue of young people to come out to vote. They were telling me, at you, Migoda, and your people, you are too much on the government. You want to remove him unlawfully, and you are the people, statistically, you are not on the register. Then I was telling that old person that we are not the problem, and not that we want to remove him unconstitutionally. We understand the fact that we must vote for a new person 2022 doesn't limit our right to demonstrate. We know that will come, but if you feel like demonstrating and protesting, you can as well do that demonstration and protesting. But also, I was also trying to tell them that let us not mistake the young people, because the older generation, not that all of them are having ID cards or the voters card. That is a lie. In fact, that the people who don't have the cards, ID cards and voters card, because the people of my age, I believe for those people who have actually finished Form 4,
yes,
none of them is not having an ID. All of us have IDs, because you saw people going to demonstration with smartphones. How can you have a smartphone minus a SIM card? our laws in this country that a SIM card must be registered with the ID card. So I believe that most of the people who are informed in this country, they are having ID cards and they are registered. The problem only happened that most of our people, most of the ladies, never turn out to vote. But now, in the register, we are there and our numbers are more. And lastly, the issue of 2027. They are telling us that you wait for 2027. Of course, we understand we are going to wait for 2027. But also we have to remind them that the same 2027, they are threatening people that tutajaza, tutaongeza. So it means that you just come down to waibie kura. How? So when we conclude our conversation with that old man, we say that, okay, we are not going to demonstrate. We are going to keep calm. We were waiting for 27. But in that 27, mtu asiguze kura ya raia ati anaiba. Sasa akiguza kura ya raia, because of course they want a peaceful country. We have let it for them. Ikae too peaceful hivyo. The same way we have given them that peaceful environment to work. That is same capacity we need them to give us when we vote them out. Ukishatolewa kwa mamlaka, usituletee kisirani tunataka kukaa kwa kiti. Watu wananchi wakisema uondoke, wewe enda. You will bring more crisis in the country. That's how we so my conclusion is that we let us, the same way you want the subjects to respect the rule of law, even if the kings, you must respect that rule of law. And once you are voted out for the sake of peace, which you are crying for, we urge you just vacate and let the people's choice to govern.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for that. And I want also to engage Mr. Barak, because despite the fact that we have a constitutional office, especially that has been given the mandate by our constitution, especially to look at the utterances that are made by the leadership, or not the leadership, but every Kenyan, especially like words that are deemed to be insightful or are inciting. But we do not see them coming out hand in hand, especially to quell this or see on how we can handle this. And we always know that majority of times it has been proven that the people who usually pronounce incitement, majority of times, are the leaders. But sometimes they don't honor even those summons, Mr. Barak. If to say, if we continue like this, where will that hope be if a body that is mandated is not doing as per what it should be doing? Or Barak left?
Yes, Brother Ben.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Thank you for that question. Before I respond to you, let me just clarify something that it is important as Kenyans not to trivialize issues, because we are trading with the kama tunacheza na shilingi karibu na ushaona ile choo ya shimo. Tunacheza na shilingi kwa ndani ya choo ambayo iko na shimo, and if you look at countries who have experienced state collapse, this is how they usually start. And when I was talking about statesmen, senior citizens of this country who have held highest positions of power, it is not about advising Ruto. It's about offering leadership. This is not about advice. This is about offering leadership, because every senior person who has held positions of power, they have a responsibility to ensure that the country does not collapse in their watch. That is how civilized societies behave. And Kenya, the moment we claim that we have a progressive constitution since 2010, we are at the league of the same states that are civilized, to ensure that an individual does not run down a country and take the country to the dogs. And we have leaders who have held senior positions and they are still drawing salary from the public coffers, and they are just keeping quiet, or they are fueling the violence. So this is nothing to do with advice. Yeah, it is all about offering leadership. And if we don't want to have a country And I can assure you, we are going to have a very difficult time as Kenyans. So you are talking about NCIC, I guess so.
Yes,
And
sir.
NCIC is not a commission that should even be in existence as we speak. Because since it was formed as a commission, can we do what we call monitoring and evaluation to look at what they've done, their achievements, and the impact they've made to ensure that they reduce what we call hate speech or hatred among our political leaders? Because our political culture is entrenched on impunity, where political leaders say whatever they want to say, they do whatever they want to do, and they get away with it. And that is why you can even see them summoning politicians, leaders, and they ignore those summons because of the culture of impunity that our politicians have entrenched this country into. And that is why this commission is just a waste of public coffers, of public money. They are drawing salary from public coffers. They are being paid by our taxpayers, but they are not doing anything, and they are not going to do anything, even if they are given 100 years, because of the culture of impunity in our politics. So unless that culture changes and leaders start being held to account for what they say and what they do, that is when NCIC will start making sense in this country. But as long as the culture is still the same, culture of impunity, where leaders say whatever they want, and if they are summoned, their followers will be up and in arms trying to protect one of their own. No, there is no way NCIC can be effective in such environment. So we'll just be employing commissioners, paying them, and we renew their contract, or even we give others, but there is nothing at all that they are doing to help polarization, to reduce polarization of the country, because of the culture of impunity that is rampant in our politics. Therefore, I will not blame the commissioners. I will not blame the NCIC, because it is the system that we are finding ourselves in, the political system, the political culture, that you can't do anything as long as a politician has followers. You cannot summon them, and even if they come, there is nothing serious. They cannot be prosecuted by NCIC. They will just be massaged, and after that they go back, and even they castigate the same NCIC. So I think that this is why we need to relook at our constitution and look at the effectiveness of these commissions. Which commission is serving the interest of the country, and which commissions are just there on paper and they're not effective at all. So that we can even reduce the wage bill by scrapping off such commissions like NCIC. Another very useless commission is IPOA. There is nothing they are doing. Yeah? For example, how long have they been in existence? How effective have they been? What is the impact in terms of ensuring that we reduce extrajudicial killing, we reduce police brutality? How many police have been successfully prosecuted as a result of this commission called IPOA? So we need to relook into these commissions seriously, so that we evaluate them and ensure that those that are not serving the interest of the country are scrapped off, so that we can reduce the wage bill. Because I'm sure that we have so many commissions that are just there drawing salaries, and they are not doing anything at all, and they are not contributing to the well-being of this country. Back to you, Bwana Ben ametoka. Mark.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Barak. To our viewers, I want to remind them that this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly just like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, and we really appreciate. But Barak, maybe something else. Now that you've spoken about that, and of course we are still witnessing what we call demonstration. They are still being planned, and the question I'm having to you, with the killings and with the Subarus and with the discussion that is going on, what do you think? Do you think the street is safe for the Gen Zs and the people demonstrating? And maybe what advice can you give to the Gen Zs and, of course, the side of law enforcers? And then after that, Joseph will also come and give us your take on that. And then Barack, maybe I'll come back to you with one question, and then we'll call it a day.
Thank you. You know, when we have a president that is saying that people should be shot on their legs, and you heard what Koech say today, the street is not safe for anybody. But that does not mean that demonstrations or protests will stop, because the history will teach you that the more you become so hard on protesters, the more you call on the more you increase their numbers on the street. As in, the more you become so hard on a person, the more you harden the person to continue resisting. So that will not stop people from protesting, even if people are shot. People have been shot in 2025, people were shot. Sabasaba people, the number I think multiplied, and you saw how many people came out on the street to protest. So that will not stop people from protesting. But the street is not safe. But my worry is not even the street. My worry is the nature of the state that we are in right now. Because number one, I'm just seeing that the court has nullified the IBC commissioners, including the chair. So in other words, I don't know if we're gone back to square zero in terms of selection panel, selecting IBC commissioners, or there will be an appeal to maybe to the Court of Appeal, so that I guess that's what the government will do, to try to appeal the High Court decision, so that maybe the Court of Appeal might intervene. Because number one, we are about 2 years to election, and we don't have a functional IBC in office. And you know the role of IBC Commission in terms of preparing for election. In 2017, the IBC chair, that was Chebukati, he was appointed few months to election, and that ended up in nullification of the presidential election of 2017. And if we are not going to sort out this issue of IBC very soon, and we continue having this crisis that we are having as a country, and by good luck or bad luck, the protesters overpower the government, what happens? Because we cannot go to any election minus the ABC commissioners, because the commission is not fully constituted with minus the commissioners. Number two, even the so-called caretaker or whatever, it's like we are in a very delicate path, and we are walking a very slippery journey towards 2027. And if the president is also reluctant to ensure that we have a functional IBC in place, how do you translate that as we approach 2027? And we are talking about having free and fair elections, so that whoever emerges as the winner, at least most of the people are convinced that this person won freely. But the way the things are right now, I really fear for this country, because everything is working against Kenya as we speak right now. Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Barack, and I'll come back to you in a few. Kidogo tu nisikie maoni ya ndugu yangu hapa Joseph. Joseph, what is your take? Do you think the street is safe for those who are going for demonstration? And what advice do you have for the youths and also for the law enforcers? What are the repercussions, for example, of killings and stopping the demonstration? But again, what is it that the demonstrators also face on their quest for justice and all those things that they're fighting for? Mr. Joseph? Joseph, are you there? I think Joseph is not in. Maybe before he comes, allow me to acknowledge the presence of Father Didi at the comment section. Thank you so much, Father, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. We hope you are doing good. Allow me to, of course, acknowledge the presence of Gitonga at the comment section. Thank you so much, Gitonga. Gypsy Corner at the comment section. Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner, for also finding time to be with us. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of Byron Benitez at the comment section. Thank you so much, Byron, for finding time to join us. There's also Shaima Hussein. Thank you so much, Shaima, for also finding time to join us. And if you're watching us for the first time, we kindly request you to just like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us. And sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. What we do is we are having a conversation that is geared towards the betterment of our country. We are not politically aligned to any political party. What we are saying here is a discussion that is all centered towards the betterment of our country. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of Judith Karitha, the comment section. Thank you so much, Judith, for coming and giving us your take. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Mary Wainaina. Mary wanted to join. We did share the link at the comment section. I don't know what happened. She joined and then she dropped. Thank you so much, Mary, for finding time. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of Brenda Obedi at the comment section. Thank you so much, Brenda. There's Tish Politiki. Thank you so much for also finding time and giving us your view on the matters that we are having a discussion about tonight. Weasley, thank you so much. Brenda Obedi, asante. And Joseph, I don't know if you're there. Kindly, are you there, Joseph?
Yes, hello. Sorry, I had left a bit.
Yeah. I don't know whether you heard my question.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat it again? I was not here. I was engaged somewhere. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm saying that what is your take on you've seen everything which is happening in Kenya. We are seeing killings, we are seeing the conversation from the political class, and the question I'm asking you is, do you think the streets are safe or is safe for the Gen Zs and those people who are going for demonstration? And which advice can you give? These people are going for demonstration, in the quest of justice and all those things, in their quest for justice and all those things. And which advice again can you give to the law enforcers? Are they allowed to shoot and kill? And which measures should they take to ensure that there's peace in in the country?
Yes, thank you for those questions, brother. A very good question. For beginners, I want to say that we are caught up in a rock and a hard place. If we go to the streets, these guys, they have decided that they are going to kill us. And if we don't go to the streets, Ruto will take our rights forever. We are not going to be able to talk. So we are caught up in a hard place, in a rock and a hard place, and we need to discuss these issues. We need to come to one conclusion what we are going to do so that we can be able to deal with this issue. We need to go back to the drawing board because also you have seen goons have been deployed by the government. So we need to go back to the drawing board and know what we are going to do about all this. It's a time for reflecting about what you have gained, what you have lost, how many people have lost, so that we can be able now to see how we are going to forge forward. Because even if we go to the next week to the streets again, they are going to deploy goons. So it's a high time we know how we are going to deal with these goons when they come to the demonstrations, and how we are going to forge forward. So I say we need to take a deeper reflection and see what we are going to do. That is the first thing I would say. For the police, today you saw only one person who was taken to the mbao. Ni mtu mmoja tu alisimama kwa mbao. Huyo mwingine si aliachiliwa, brother Kevin. He was just released. So the person who took the shot is the one who went down. Did you see their Superman Murkomen akiwatetea? He said he's going to be their superhero. He was not there. So it's a high time the police they know ukifanya kitu inakubeba wewe mwenyewe, si ule anakupatia sheria. The people who are giving you the sheria that you should shoot, most of them even they have not gone through the what do we call them, ukiganjo. They have not gone through the training of a police officer. Most of them they are just hyped politicians who have just come and started commanding you left, right, and center. They don't know the struggles of a police officer. They don't know what a police officer goes through when he's training. So they can come and tell you any sort of demands. But if they have not gone through the system, they can never know anything. Kama tu mtu tu amekuja tu ameanguka tu Kenya, anakuja kutuambia ati vile tunafaa kulala na vile tunafaa kuamka. That is the same person like Murkomen. He's just another useless fellow. He's just another useless fellow who has just been given a very serious docket which he cannot be able to manage. If he was unable to manage the sports is the easiest docket he could have been able to manage, but he was unable. So, and transport, what can he be able to manage in the interior ministry? So this one is just a joke of the time, and police officers should know and stay alert. Huyo jamaa wetu ameenda hivyo huyo bwana. And you know, in prisons, life for a police officer is more worse than the regular ordinary person. Life of a police officer in prison is more harder. So huyo jamaa amelipia madhambi yake juu alikuwa anadhania wanafanya wakiwa kiumati. Ati unajua hii ni kama vile tulikuwa tunasema shule. Unakumbuka tukiwa shule tulikuwa tunajiunganisha, tunasema ati tuko na nguvu sijui, but ukishikwa kwa hizo mambo zote wewe ni utalilisha mzazi wako, utakuja na mawaya za bulb wire huko kwa shule haziishi. So that is what has happened to this guy. He has been taken. He has gone alone. Nobody is backing him. Even the guy who was saying that utalala kwa fridge, let him just see the video of today. That guy was about to shed tears so that he knows that you can be given power to shoot. Yeah, I heard he was saying that I've been given the power to shoot. Utalala kwa fridge. Yes, wacha na yeye atalala kwa fridge na yeye tutajua pale utalala. So when you continue seems like you are going you know, brother Kevin, that guy even did not know he was being taken a video. Do you know God works in mysterious ways? Huyo jamaa hata sikudhani alikuwa anajua anachukuliwa video. Do you know that video, the person who took it ilienezwa mpaka they found the guy, the exact guy. Mpaka akiwa amejifunganisha, they found the exact guy and he was taken to prison, and by evening watu walikuwa wamejua huyo jamaa ni nani. So hata huyo alisema kuhusu fridge, let him be very careful. Let him be more careful. Kenyans now they are not joking. Unaweza sema hizo maneno zako uongee vile utaongea, but in the long run kile kitakupata haitakuwa mchezo. People are just going to be recording what you are saying, and nowadays it's very difficult because Kenyans have cameras. You can switch off the whatever you want, the TVs and what, but the camera has the mobile phones and the internet has become a very serious headache to the government. So, and it's the one which is going to also be taking evidence for these guys when they are going to be, because me I know some of the people here wale wanaongea hivyo upuzi, they are going to go to the higher court. You know what I mean? So for the police, I think I've told them that, you know, they always respect their law. Wanasemaga as we follow as ni yes sir. So okay, let them do what they'll do, but mimi nimewaambia mtu atasimama kwa mbao peke yake. And so for the Gen Z, we need to re-strategize and we need to go back to the drawing board. Not only the Gen Z, because the Gen Z are not the only one who goes for demonstrations. We always even put our effort in. We need to re-strategize and know now the way forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joseph, for giving us your take. And Barak, I'm coming to you, and I think this is my last question to you, Mr. Barak, and then maybe I'll let you attend to whatever you are having tonight. Maybe we'll continue with Joseph and Miguda. Barak, you did say that the High Court nullified the IBC appointment. And of course, it is true that the High Court has nullified President Ruto's appointment of IBC chair and 6 commissioners for disobeying court orders. And the question I have for you is, what are the repercussions? What are the outcomes of this particular ruling, and how is it going to affect the entire election period? Remember, we have very uh, serious laws which are very strict, and we are remaining with around 2 years to election. Remember the reason why the last 2017 general election was nullified. Some of the issues are the ones that we are currently seeing, and the court did advise that at least the commission should be in place around 3 years before the election or so. What is it that we are going to experience as a people on matters of election? And again, after giving us your take on that, the repercussions and the challenges that we are going to have now that it is nullified, what it means for the country, how is it affecting the politics of the country, and also even the constitution that we have. And again, you can also give us your take on what you think about the people of Kenya. Do they really have to think different when it comes to matters of election and the people that they elect? Remember, President William Ruto was elected with the majority, and he was the favorite of quite a good number of Kenyans. And today, everyone is complaining. And the question I'm asking you is, with consistency in disobeying and not giving heed or getting to understand that the people have their view, the people, once there's a way they want to be governed, and they're not really finding that. What is your take? How are the citizens then supposed to think? How are they supposed to reason? Which measures should they put in order to ensure that they don't get into such problems in future?
Brother, before he gets in, I've heard the story that county supermarket watu wameanza kurudisha vitu. The goons who had stolen from Kagio County supermarket wameanza kurudisha vitu.
I'll comment on that maybe in a few. Barak, I don't know if you're still there. And
yes,
possibly
I'm
after
still here.
that, you can also give us your last remarks. Maybe you can also confirm if you're still available. We continue, or you are going to get busy.
No, let me just end with at this point.
Okay, very well.
We'll interact again maybe later on tomorrow. It's interesting that people are returning stolen items. This is also what happened in 2007 when people stole some goods in Mombasa, and the owner of those goods gave an ultimatum. So you just come and throw a bag of sugar in and you disappear. You go throw a bale of unga, you disappear. So people should just learn to respect other people's property. That is very important. Even if you go out to demonstrate, you should just respect other people's property. And if you are a goon, respect people's property. Just look for your own, and you will enjoy life. Now, I'm just looking at that decision of by the High Court, and I'm seeing that they've not really invalidated the commissioners and the chair. They've just nullified the gazette notice that the government published. So what the court has said is that gazette notice was illegal. It was unlawful because there was a court order to stop it, to stop the gazettement. So they have given Ruto another chance to gazette these names lawfully. So I think it's not a big crisis the way it came out at the first. I thought maybe the whole thing has been nullified and we are going back to square zero. So you see, it's just about gazetting their names in a lawful way. So it's not a big issue to worry about. So let Ruto just gazette the names lawfully, and the IBC will continue to full constitution, so that they can now start performing their mandate. We have a few constituencies that have been without representation, and the peoples of these constituencies, I think they are taxpayers, and they are missing out when it's come to resource allocation, because even their CDF is not being managed by a member of parliament. I think this is not right, because even their voices is not being heard in the National Assembly, which is unlawful. The people of, I think it's just Balambala, the people of Ugunja, the people of Mbeere something, and I think another constituency in Mombasa. And we also have so many wards that do not have MCS. So I think the IBC should be fully constituted, not focusing on 2027 first, because we have by-election that should happen in this country, and those should be the immediate priority of this IBC once it's fully constituted. Because if we have constituencies where there's no representation, and we are talking about resource allocation, I think it is not fair for people who are coming from these constituencies. So so I think it's not a big issue. Maybe in the next 1 month or even a few weeks, we'll have an IBC in office, if the president decides to gazette their names according to the instruction of the court. Now, you talked about the people and elections, and you know, that's a discussion that I think many people are not comfortable having, and that is the problem we are having in this country, where people go to the polls, they elect people using their emotions, and once they've elected leaders in office who are incompetent, they start complaining about the same leaders, because maybe when they were electing them, I don't know what they were thinking, and that is the biggest problem we have in this country. Yeah, because even if you look at Ruto, the biggest percentage of people who elected him are the biggest percentage who want him out as soon as yesterday. So you ask yourself, that this guy was elected just the other day in 2022, in August. It's not even 3 years down. And when you go to elect a leader, and you know that you are electing him for the next 5 years, then along the way, you start now, you want to push him out of office, and you are the same person who elected him. Are you willing to ask yourself some fundamental questions? What drives you when you are going to elect a leader? Yeah, because the constitution is very clear. Kenyan election cycles is after 5 years. So even if when you're electing your MCA, your governor, your member of the National Assembly, your Senate, your woman rep, your president, you know that you are giving them a 5 years mandate. So what happens along the way that now you want this person out of office? So it means that you did not do evaluation of your candidate before you went to elect them. And this is where the citizen's responsibility comes in. What is your responsibility as an electorate? Yeah. What assessment are you doing to these leaders to ensure that you assess them properly before you decide this is going to be my candidate? Yeah. Even right now, people are saying, I will elect anybody but Ruto. Yeah, they are willing to go for anybody else but Ruto. Now, this person that they're going to elect, let's assume that they've elected another president in 2027. How sure are you that this guy is going also to serve for 5 years before people come to the street and say, no, we thought maybe you are better off. Afadhali sasa Ruto, afadhali Ruto. Because this has been a cycle in this country, and electorates are not willing to talk about it. And as long as we are not willing to take responsibility of our decisions when we go to vote, it means that these problems are going to continue being with us for some time, until the day we'll decide to take responsibility of our choices. Yeah, because choices has consequences. You cannot be electing anybody. Then when they become incompetent, they cannot deliver on what you thought they will deliver on. Then you start causing chaos all over the country. That is wrong. Yeah. So we must reach a point as a citizenry and decide now to talk to ourselves and take responsibility of our political decisions. Let me tell you something. If you look at the trend of elections in this country, and let me start with Kibaki. When Kibaki came in office in 2002, December, and he took power, in 2003, Kenya was voted as the most optimistic country in the world because of the promises that NAC came with, and because of the hope that now KANU is gone, and now we have Kenya, we have a new dawn in this country. And by the end of 2003, that hope started shrinking. In 2004, Kibaki became so unpopular in this country. And in 2005, he lost a referendum when he wanted to introduce a new constitution in 2005. And that loss in 2005 was a precursor of 2007 post-election violence in this country. So it shows you that when we have a regime change, in the initial years, the president, because of the so many promises that they make, they become so unpopular. And even if you look at Uhuru Kenyatta, when he became the president in 2003 and 2013, he was not better off because Kenyans were expecting some change because there was a regime change. But things did not change. Things went from bad to worse. Let us talk about police brutality. Police brutality or extrajudicial killing has not started now. It started long time ago. And let me ask you, why is it that every regime that comes talks about police reforms and police brutality, ending police brutality, but they end up not doing anything at all about it? Why? And even the president is going to come, mark my word, let's pray that God gives us many years. He will not do anything about police. In fact, when they become in power, they will use the same police against the people. Because even those who are in opposition right now, when they were in power, they were using the same police against the people. And a good example is Dr. Fred Matiang'i. When he was the CS for Interior, the internet never forgets. What were his utterances in support of police when police were brutalizing the citizens during demonstrations? In 2017 elections, you know what happened? He even switched off media houses for more than 1 week. Even when the court issued an order for him to switch them on, they declined. At least Murkomen alikimbia kazifungua rakaraka vile court ilitoa order. But Matiang'i declined for more than 1 week. These are the same people who are now, looks like they can save us. I can assure you they will be the same people who are there before. Gachagua was the deputy president in 2023. We know how he used to support the police when they were hitting protesters. So my point is, politicians are the same. They are children of the same parents, children of the same mother, breastfed by the same breast. They reason the same. So they only talk differently depending with, are they in power or are they out of power? So do not expect any miracle because Ruto maybe is going home and or Matiang'i is coming, and now you expect that now police will be clapping for us when we go to demonstrate. Nothing like that will happen. So the issue of police brutality is not a new phenomenon in this country. It has been with us for many years, and I'm not seeing it changing anytime soon. So we just have to live with it until maybe a time will come when a leader will come from I don't know where, who will decide that they're not going to use police against the citizens, but they're going to use police to protect the citizens. But the current crop of leaders we have in oppositions, they are worse than even those that we have in government. They're just the same people. Because we've seen them, they have track record. They are not new. Maybe a crop of new leaders will emerge who will mean well for this country, and they will transform this country. So the current leadership is a big mess. The current electorate is another problem, that are not even willing to vote for change to happen in this country. So as I conclude, we have a big problem as a country, and maybe this generation will not be able to solve. Maybe the coming generation might somehow bring change that we desire as a country. But the current generation, with the current behavior we have in our political culture, in our voter behavior, how we behave as voters, how our politicians behave, my brother, it will only take a miracle to bring change in this country. I rest my case.
Okay, thank you so much. Francis Irungu is saying, well said, well put, my brother. Francis, if you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. Barak, you didn't give us your final remarks. Natuacha na maoni gani?
Thank you, Francis, and for that comment. And I thought I was concluding and giving my final remark. Let's say my final remark is that we are at a crossroad as a country, and this situation that we are in, it is not for people who are not critical to give solution. It requires critical thinking. If you are dismissive, you cannot give solution to this country at this point. That's why I have a problem when I see president being dismissive, opposition leaders being dismissive. You know, leadership is not positions. Yeah, you might be not holding any position at all, but you are a leader. You can offer solution, especially political leaders who are eyeing to succeed Ruto, because Ruto is serving his first term. If he's lucky, he can serve another term, or he can go home after this first term. So those who are eyeing his position right now, are they offering leadership? Are they able to offer leadership, or they're just a continuation of polarization, the way we are being polarized right now, being aligned with the tribes and ethnicity and everything. So if you see lack of leadership from both sides, and you are a concerned citizen, I can assure you that you will be worried for the future of this country. This is not the country that will love our children and our country to grow in. Such polarized society as this, yeah, where you wake up and you see young people, children, 12 years old, shot by police, 15 years old, shot by police. Yeah? And when leaders start talking, is this tribe against the other. This tribe is being oriented. This tribe is this tribe. This tribe. Is that a society? Even if young Obomak, you want to start a family, are you encouraged to bring new offspring in this kind of society? Yeah. So we need to call ourselves for a serious meeting as a country. We need to call ourselves for a serious meeting, because Kenya is the hope of this region. You cannot compare Kenya with our neighboring countries, but our behavior is wanting these days, because we are behaving badly, just like Museveni, just like Mama Samia. You can't even talk about Somalia. You can't talk about South Sudan. You can't talk about DRC and Burundi. Yeah? The only serious leader that I can talk about maybe is Kagame, even though he's a benevolent dictator, but a dictator who means well for his country. And we have seen what he has done for Rwanda, and making Rwanda a model in East Africa. If you see PSG wearing visit Rwanda, if you see Arsenal wearing visit Rwanda. So we need to call ourselves for a serious meeting, so that we can get back on track and be the hope of this region the way we've been. And if we don't do that, we are sliding to self-destruction. And if that succeeds, nobody's going to hold our hand. In fact, our neighbors are going to laugh at us, because we are that big brother that is an envy of everybody. So if we slide into self-destruction, I can assure you, it's going to take ages for us to come to get right on track. So that is food for thought. Thank you.
Barak, you've reminded me of something. I don't know if you remember during the days when William Ruto was campaigning, and when he associated himself with the clergy or the men of God. Those days he would give verses, and he memorized quite a number of Bible verses, and he would come and speak and tell the people how the people would see him as a devoted Christian. And you, as a Christian, I hope you do understand what it means when someone is a devoted Christian and what they are able to do, what they can do in matters of making decision, in matters of running the country, and of course in matters of understanding, the problems and also finding solution to those problems. You remember when, for example, the BBI was nullified, and he came out and defended the judiciary, saying that the judiciary is right, that it is not a priority for the people of Kenya to be having that BBI. You remember when he criticized the move by the police when, during the reign of President Uhuru, when they were using the Subaru. You remember the Subaru man and the killings of Yala, how he spoke about that matter. You remember how his associates, the likes of Ishungwa, the likes of the current cabinet secretary in charge of interior, Honorable Murkomen, and when he was being sworn in, he also gave the same promises, and even said that he acknowledged the fact that all those negative things happened, and in his government we are not going to witness such kind of things. You remember when when he now started running the country, started having problems with the he started having the problem with judiciary, and then after that he used to criticize. He came to having problems, and then he started his implementation of his agenda. Things were not really working. Things were bouncing here and there. You remember the affordable housing is forcing the people with it. People, majority are saying it is not a need at this particular time. Remember when he came up with the ASLA fund, people took some fee, they were given some few amount of money, and they didn't pay it to, I don't know what really happened. What is your take, Barak, before you go on? Because you've just reminded me of that. What is your take on the view of the people? Now, you've given us your take on what you think about what people should be doing when making the right decision. Which advice can you give the people of Kenya just based on that? Having given you the narrative, the narration of how the president came to power, and how he was seen as like a messiah, so to call, because remember he said that he was going to come in, and the problems which he truly understood, issues to do with injustice, issues to do with unemployment, and then today on the streets the youths are demanding for the promises he gave. What is wrong for the people going for demonstration to demand things that he promised?
Uh, Mark, thank you for that. Before I respond, let me just tell Gypsy Corner that yes, Rwanda. If you look at Arsenal when they are playing, just read at the arm. You'll see visit Rwanda. And even when you are watching PSG, I think they are going to beat Chelsea so terribly this Sunday. So you just read at the arm. It's written visit Rwanda. So this is what Kagame is doing for Rwanda, and you can imagine being a tiny country in East Africa, and us being a giant. We cannot even sponsor Gor Mahia or FC Leopards. Anyway, so you know, my advice to voters in Kenya: can you look at the track record of a person before they before you vote for them? You know, when Ruto used emotional blackmail, and people really bought that, and he manipulated people emotionally. And you know, Kenyans with emotions, yeah, you whip them emotionally, and all of them, they start sympathizing with you. You know, Ruto played a victim. He played as a victim card when he was the deputy president, and he managed to convince many people that he was an opposition leader while serving as the deputy president, and manipulated people that he's now he's a son of a poor person, and the one who was ruling, who was oppressing them, was a son of the founding father. So these are dynasties, and he's a hustler. So because he knows that many Kenyans are poor and are not and associating themselves with Christianity, so he knew that if he placed that victim, he's going to capture them emotionally, and that's what he did, and he successfully manipulated millions of Kenyans emotionally to sympathize with him, that even we had people who are willing to die for him to become the president. And I can assure you, all the things that Ruto promised, he does not remember them. That's why he was asking you, this unemployment, has it started now? It started a long time, because he does not remember that he promised in the first year in office he will create 4 million job opportunities. He has already forgotten, because he overpromised. And if you are a serious person, you will know that this guy is lying, because let us be realistic also as people. You cannot promise and promise and promise if you go to every market, you will see us talking about 50 billion, the next market 50 billion, the next. Where are you going to get all this money? So because people are emotionally attached to you, and they are willing even to die for you, they believe in you, and when you get into office, you cannot sustain lies now because you are in office. You can only sustain lies if you are outside office. And that's where many people don't draw the line. Yeah. Personally, I understand the track record of Ruto. That's why I was not very much impressed with his emotional manipulation. So I was able to understand that this guy is manipulating people emotionally. And those who are going to fall for him are not going to be so happy when he becomes the president, because he will not fulfill any promise that he's talking about. So people must understand the track records of leaders before you vote for them. Even if they've never been in politics, at least they've done something that you can attach to their name. Yeah. Let's use, for example, like someone like Maraga. He wants to become the president. He has done something. He has done something that you can attach to his name. Yeah. These other leaders, that want to vie against Ruto, they have done something. So are you willing to critically put these names on the table and attach to their track record, evaluate them critically without emotions? Do not attach yourselves to a politician emotionally. You're going to end up being disappointed, the way I see many people are so disappointed today because of that emotional attachment. Yeah, you will, if you love them so much, I can assure you will hate them so much tomorrow. So don't love so much and don't hate so much, so that you can balance your emotions with their promises, so that you don't attach yourself emotionally with them. Yeah, that will help you to elect someone using your mind, and you will be able to balance the outcome. If it does not favor you, you will not be so much attached to him to an extent that you can even want him dead, because you feel that he has wasted you so much. Yeah. So let us just note how to balance our emotions and our expectation to these politicians, because they overpromise, and once they get in office, they deliver negative. But look at the track record of every leader. They have done something. Their leadership journey started somewhere. They've done something, either an achievement or an abuse. Yeah. So that is what I can say. And Gypsy Corner, I know you, you don't like Arsenal. I also don't like Arsenal, but I don't hate them so much because I'm not emotionally attached to Manchester United. Anyway, my love for Manchester United, and I wish that Manchester United can also, Kagame can also consider maybe using Manchester United to market the Rwanda brand, because United is the biggest brand in the world. So if you use Manchester United to market your brand, I can assure you, you are going to the tourists in Rwanda are going to be times 10 in the next 2 years. So thank you so much, and I beg to leave at that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I see you've lost. Wandai amezima stima.
Yeah, this is Kenya. I've seen how tactful you've answered that question. Mbona utaki Arsenal?
No, Gypsy Kona did not say Marara is my person. I don't associate myself with any politician at now. Maybe later on, as we draw closer to 2027, I might consider, but at this moment, I've not seen anybody who has impressed me so far. What in masufuria tu.
Okay, and did you fine? Did you say that Kenya should also advertise Manchester as Rwanda continues advertising Arsenal?
Do they have the capacity? That is the question. Do they have the capacity? Because Kagame understands what marketing a country is. Being a top, the president is the top diplomat. So Kagame understands how to market his country, and he knows that sport is one of the best way to market a country. Yeah, because when these big clubs play, the whole world is watching. Yeah, so people will be interested. Why is it that even this club is telling us to visit this country? What is so unique with this country? They will want to come. Yeah, that is how you increase foreign exchange in terms of attracting foreign tourists to your country. But kama tunaonekana tu tukipigana na matiagas kwa screens, who is going to come to our country? Seriously.
Barack, but we have Barack, are you forgetting that we have a president who is the tourist of Africa? He has gone to almost every country in the world, and at some point he wanted to bring us the Grammy is it the Grammy whatever to Kenya, and I think why are you not talking about that? I think we also have a
that is the madness that people should forget about. You can use a sports person to market your country because these people they are neutral. Yeah. And like someone like Eliud Kipchoge, he can attract many tourists to Kenya more than a politician, because tourists don't want to attach themselves to politicians, because they know politicians come and go, and others are so controversial, others are thieves, corrupt. Yeah. So once you are using a sports person to market a brand, it's going to attract so many people because of that neutrality and that being a global icon, you see. So that is why Manchester United is the biggest brand in the world, and being a club that is loved by all continents, the 7 continents. So if you use it to market your country, you are going to attract tourists from all over the world, simply because they visit Kenya. So they will be asking them, so why am I telling us to visit Kenya? What is so good with this country? They will want to come. Yeah. But if you use a politician, I can assure you, they cannot attract anybody.
Takutafutia mtu wa Arsenal basi.
Mtu wa nini?
Mtu wa Arsenal pia kuja kwambie how Arsenal is the only team that should be advertised in the whole world.
Afadhali Manchester United, we only discuss football with people, with supporters of Liverpool. The way I say Gypsy Corner is talking about Liverpool. We don't discuss football with Arsenal fans because we are not at the same level in terms of football. So Arsenal should discuss it with Tottenham and Everton. Those are their age mates. Have a good night. Bye bye. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us tonight. I'll see you again next time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Asante Mark, tutaongea kesho.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much for finding time to join us and to give us your take. We really appreciate to our viewers. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, we kindly request you to just like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. And I want to take this opportunity to wish you all well after acknowledging everyone who joined us this evening. We appreciate and we hope that you'll always join us so that we can proceed with this conversation. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Gypsy Corner. Asante sana for finding time to be with us for all this time. We really appreciate. And for consistently engaging us at the comment section. We don't take it for granted. Father Didi, thank you so much. Gitonga, Joseph, everyone who came to be with us this evening, we really appreciate, and we hope that you'll always be joining us. And for that reason, now I was thinking Meguda would come back, but now that he's not in, allow me to just end the show. And I want to take this opportunity to wish you all well, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. See you again tomorrow. Hope that you'll join us again.